Gary, let's talk about some of the reaction to the sub stuff, the French claim. No, total surprise. Now, obviously, they weren't told about this weeks ago, only a couple of days before it all took place, and they've decided to pull their ambassadors. Now, that is, of course, in diplomatic terms, a very significant thing. What do you think?
Well, isn't the French ambassador lucky he's been able to get on a plane and leave Australia and just go home and visit the folks? Paul, who knows? I mean, look, yeah, I get it. It's diplomatic and all of that sort of stuff. But there are people in the French Foreign Service who are still complaining that La Perouse came to Australia after Arthur Phillip. So, they're still disputing what happened back in the 1780s. So, Paul, look, mate, it's simple as this. Australia, we have to act in our own particular interest. We're friends with the French. Australian blood has been spilt defending France, freeing France, liberating France. France was, of course, the country that sponsored the United States. The democracy certainly was inspired by it, and indeed the Irish will also give the French a big nod as well. But Paul, there's no doubt in my mind that the strength of the friendship goes a lot further. The biggest community of France outside of France, of course, is just off our shore. It's called New Caledonia, and relies heavily on Australia for everything. Paul, this will pass. It's like everything else. The whole lockdown schmozzle, the restriction of our freedoms, like every other thing we've been through, it will pass. But what we've now got is an Australian government that says our national sovereignty, our best interests, are what we're worried about first and foremost. So if we can now fix up water policy, if we can now fix up power policy, Scott Morrison, stare them down in Glasgow. If they go low and start trying to attack us on trade, we've got to stick to the high ground and say, it is Australia that we care about. You guys, you're rich enough to please yourself. We're actually now very vulnerable, but we're being less vulnerable than we were a week ago because of this submarine decision.